Okay, I lost count how many times I have tried and recorded this. Every time I turn the camera, either a baby cries, airplanes start passing, or construction start happening. Right now there's a lot of wind, so I'm hoping it doesn't rain. We'll see how long this lasts. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great as always. So today we have another talkie kind of a video. We're going to be talking about another series that I saw. Today we're going to be talking about Sweet Home, which is a series on Netflix. It came out a while back, and I will describe it like a horror kind of apocalyptic kind of a series. There's a lot of monsters, a lot of blood, a lot of anger and just violence. So yeah, there's not many like jump scares. It all depends on what you consider horror. At the moment on Netflix it only has one season. That's the one that we're going to be talking today, so let's get right into it because it's 10 episodes and the last one that I did was a bit long. So let's see. As always, I have my notes here because I forget things. So how everything starts from episode 1 is we see some soldiers, I guess. They're kind of getting in position looking like in a building, and from that building a boy appears and they're kind of shooting at him because they're kind of scared of the boy, but he's standing up. Bullets aren't doing absolutely nothing. And then at some point the boy kind of looks up and you can see like his eyes are completely black and it kind of cuts there, so you're already like, who the hell is this boy? So we kind of rewind 1 month before all of that and we meet Hyun-soo, which he's the main character. By the way, this is a Korean series. I didn't say that. This is a Korean series. I'm gonna try my best to pronounce the names as best as I can. He is arriving at the building that he's gonna leave. Then we get another shot of Hyun-soo in the rooftop. Oh my god, I forgot. Rooftop. We got a shot of him there and he's kind of deciding to if he wants to kill himself. And there we meet another character, which her name is Eunju, and she's a former ballerina. The first thing that she said, she looked at him, they have a talk, and then she said, if you're gonna kill yourself, please don't do it here because that's gonna be inconvenient for everybody that lives in the building. Look, at first I hated her, okay? But throughout the series, I promise you will start to like her. At least I did. But that's like the first impression that they give you of her, and it's like, oh, you're a bitch. That's like the first thing you think about her. After that, we get 2 important interactions, which I wasn't going to add them, but they're very important. And it is 2 interactions that the security guard has when he's in his office. So the first one is the superior of him. He is complaining about his work and how he has a bed in his office and how he shouldn't be sleeping and doing his job and all of that, right? And then the second one is a woman that lives in the building, if I don't remember, and she's like, hey, I wanted to give you this fish so you can enjoy it, and he's very happy. Like, you can see his face, but in reality the fish really wasn't good. It was already just, you had to throw it away because it was looking horrible. And at that time that he sees the fish, he starts having a nosebleed. So we meet 2 more people. No, actually we meet 3. There's a lot of characters here. I'm not gonna be mentioning all of them, otherwise we're gonna be here for a long time. And we meet Jisoo, which she plays the bass guitar. That's what she does, and she was going to her job, and she meets Myun-suk, which she has a stroller, and we realize there's no baby in the stroller. I think there was a fake, like a doll, baby doll, and Jisoo is immediately like, are you okay? But later on we get to know that she actually had a baby. She lost it. I think she let go of the stroller or something and a car kind of hits it. It's a pretty strong thing, but she still, you know, she doesn't believe it, so she's not very clear in his head and she thinks the baby is still alive. And we also get to meet Jaehon right there in the elevator, and he's a Korean language teacher, and he's a very religious guy. Another thing that happens, which is what actually makes everything go insane in this building, Jisoo is kind of like playing her bass guitar in her room, and this lady starts knocking on her door very strong, like very loud, and she thinks it's because she's playing the bass. So she's like, I'm sorry, I promise I will stop. The banging gets very strong, so she's like, oh, this is not okay. So she takes a baseball bat to kind of see, but by the time she kind of does something, the lady goes away. Oh, also, I forgot, we also meet another person, which I absolutely love him as well. His name is Sanwook, the character name is Sanwook. And at first you're gonna think he's a gang member. He isn't. He's there to kind of get revenge, because the first thing we see of him is him torturing this guy. Like, he has a rape in tape, and he's burning cigarettes on him, and it's like he's trying to get something out of the guy, and you're like, oh my god, he's a bad person. I love him, not because of what he's doing, but I love his whole character as well. So we also get to meet him. So because of this interaction, these weird things that are happening already in the building, a lot of the people go to the main floor and they're like, hey, I think there's a killer in this place. They go to the manager's office and they're trying to see if they can call the police or 911. Well, I think Korea is 119, the emergency line. But the lines are obviously, there's nothing, nobody to respond. Somebody, I don't remember who, but some idiot opens the main gate, and we get the first view of one of the monsters, and it looks disgusting. But the thing that I remember the most about it is that it has a tentacle, and that's scary as fuck. They're like, shit, we need to close the gate. So one person dies. We also see En-hyuk, which is Eunju older brother, and he's a medical student. And we also see Ji-kyun, which is a firefighter. She's a badass. I also love her. So they're both kind of fighting this monster, trying to defend everybody because everybody's doing absolutely nothing. And they're able to kind of push the monster back, so they're able to close the gate and be safe again. And Hyun-soo is in his room having a nosebleed. That is not good. The amount of blood is not safe. There is a few fights going around. There's Sang-wook has a fight with the lady that we have been seeing him. We have been seeing her, the monster lady. Jisoo also has a little fight with the security guard, because by the time she sees the security guard, he's already becoming a monster. So there's a little bit of a fight there. By this point, they still don't know what the hell is happening. They do get some message on their phone that is like, stay inside or go outside. That just makes you want to go outside. At least some of them. I don't know why. Do the opposite. Pretty much everybody is in the main floor of the building. Hyun-soo is his apartment. Jisoo and Jaehyun are somewhere in another place on the building. We also get to meet other characters that are kind of around the building, but for the most part everybody's in the main floor. And they're kind of deciding what to do, and En-hyuk is immediately acting as the leader, which is something that a lot of people don't like. Mainly because he's very cold-hearted, or at least that's the way he acts. But he's like, okay, everybody can stay in the daycare, and the person in charge in the daycare is like, no. But he's like, yes, we're gonna do what we say, and they do. The other thing is he wanted to ration the food that is in the grocery store, which the guy in charge of the security guard with grocery store, which his name is Suk-hyun, which I'll mention him because I absolutely hate him. Doesn't want to, but they still force him to be like, you're gonna do it. We also get a bit more of Hyun-soo. He sees these children that are stuck in their apartment because their dad went out but he died, and so Hyun-soo wants to save them, right? But he still doesn't. He doesn't know what to do. I think this is the first time that he has such a strong emotion to save somebody, that he doesn't know what to do. So he gets to meet another guy that is in another apartment. His name is Dushik. He's a guy that is actually in a wheelchair and he was in the military, and he's like, hey, if you want to save these children, you come to me and I will help you. So Hyunso actually ends up going to the apartment. The guy gave him like a weapon that he made, and Hyunso actually ends up going aside to save the kids. But before he can do anything, he starts having a nosebleed again, which again worries me by the amount of blood. The different thing about this nosebleed is that his eyes actually turn black completely. But by the time he wakes up and gets to the apartment where the children are, there's a monster outside and his eyes are still black. And Jisoo and who's the other one? Jaehyun get there and they see his eyes, but they also want to help, so they start helping. Myung-suk also appears, the lady that lost the baby. She tries to help. She also has her eyes completely black like Hyunso, but she tries to help, but the monster is like a very big one and strong one, so he ends up kind of knocking her. But at the end of the fight, Jaehyun is able to lure the monster to like a window, so the monster runs and kind of jumps up the window or something, and he's fine. The Korean teacher is fine. But they're able to kind of get the monster away, and they are able to go to Dushik apartment. So the kids, Hyunso, Jisoo, Jaehyun, and Myung-suk are all in Dushik's apartment now. On the main floor, they start having a broadcast. The president is doing a broadcast especially, and right there in the broadcast, I don't think it was a good idea, but the president starts having a nosebleed, starts talking real weird, so you know he's turning into a monster. And the military that are there killed the president while they're still broadcasting and then ended. I feel like it should have been turned around before, like end it first and then kill, not kill and then end the broadcast, because now everybody sees it and everybody's like, yeah, this is not good. So this make Suk-hyun, the grocery guy that I absolutely hate, start being selfish again and be like, yeah, nobody's gonna get my food, and he like just not let anybody into the grocery store. But this guy appears, which is later on we see that is the guy that Sang-wook was torturing in his room essentially, and he appears with a suitcase full of food. I don't know how, but he did, and everybody's like, I don't trust you, but I need food, so I'm gonna take this food, but I still don't trust you. They are able to survive the first day, right? And Eun-hyuk is like, hey, I think the first floor is safe, I think we can move there. But Jinok, which she's the one she's in charge of the daycare that they were saying, she's like, no, my daughter is outside, I need to go outside and save her, like she's close by. And they're like, no. So she ends up opening the gate. I mean, she has a daughter, so I kind of understand her whole, like, you know, she wants to get her daughter. And we see the daughter running, and I think one of the soldiers that were staying in the building goes outside to save the daughter, but they both die because of the monster with the whole like tentacle thing kills him. That is not good, because Jinok starts like blaming Eun-hyuk, and you can see he's in like a very shocked state, and she's like, it's your fault that she's dead because you didn't let me go outside and get her. At this point, Jisoo, Jaehyun, and Hyunso decide to get out of Dushik's apartment to go to the main floor, if I remember, and the kids and Myung-suk actually stay in the apartment. And we also see at some point that I think Eun-hyuk, oh my god, I forgot to say his name, but Eun-hyuk sends Ji-hyun to the basement to, what was it? It has to do something with the water. Yeah, water or electricity, one of the two things. The point is, in the basement there is a monster, there is a spider, like, well, it is a spider monster essentially, and it captures her, and I think she stays there for a bit or something, I'm not entirely sure, but she stays there for a bit. She's able to get out. She loses her phone, which is not good because her fiance is actually calling her, and when she's not able to get it, she goes out and she's like, it's your fault, and you know there was a monster, you still sending me there. And she's pissed, and he's not saying absolutely anything. Right here we get another broadcasting and design from the military, and essentially I think I have her name here as Eugene. I'm not entirely sure if that was her name, but she says that the military will be in charge now. Of course, there's no president, you killed the broadcast, Jesus. And it's gonna be in charge of the security and the civil affairs thingy. The point is, in this whole kind of broadcast, we know a few things. So one, they're not quite sure how the infection is spreading, but I think it's related to human desire. Have to quarantine people that have symptoms of nosebleeds, very strong ones, fainting, and auditory or visual hallucination. And they also say that the monsters have excellent, how do I say this word, regenerative capabilities. And but there's something called a golden hour where you can kill them by burning them. After they get to know that, Hyunso, I don't exactly remember if it is that he faints or something. The point is that he gets to the main floor and everybody already knows he's infected, and they're kind of voting to see what to do with him. And Suk Hyun, the grocery guy, he's very vocal about killing him. The only good thing about that scene, I shouldn't say it's a good thing, but I was like, see what happened? Again, he has a very strong selfish desire, and he doesn't care, and he wants him to kill. I'm guessing the desire was so strong that he started having a nosebleed, and I think he faints. Yeah, he faints. So by the time he wakes up, he's in isolation room with Hyunsuk. Myunsuk also, she was infected, as we all know. She ends up becoming a monster, but it is a weird one because she doesn't start attacking people or anything. She becomes a baby in Dushik's bathroom. Like, literally a baby. Like, if the baby was in the mother's, like, womb, that. Literally that. And it's huge. And it's like, you know, makes sense because her biggest desire was her baby and all of that. So yeah, by this point they haven't killed Hyunsoo, but they're using him to do tasks, dangerous one. And the first one is to get Dushik to the main floor because he can repair stuff. And Eunhyuk is immediately like, hey, look, your first priority is Dushik, the kids are second. And you're like, bitch, how much cold-hearted can you be? Hyunsoo goes. We also get to meet Gilsup, which is terminally ill, and we also get to meet Yuri, which she takes care of people. I'm guessing she's like a nurse. They save Hyunsoo for one of the monsters and kind of help him get Dushik to the main floor and all of that. We get to know why Sang-wook is so obsessed with the guy. Essentially, the guy is a child predator. He has all these trophies in his apartment, and you're like, boy, no. He is Sang-wook again. I love this man. He goes to the main floor. He's pissed. Still beating this guy until he's dead, essentially, and just opens the gate, throws him outside. The monster is not close by because it doesn't go. The point is, he throws the guy, and then he's able to bring the soldier and the daughter of the daycare lady inside. And he kind of closes the gate, and he's like, hey, I don't, you know, just leave me outside. But they bring him in. At some point, I think he faints, and they're able to like bring him in. We get to know that Ji-kyun decides to leave the building because at this point we are led to believe that her fiance had to do something with everything that was happening. And later on, when she gets to like a building that his fiance work, if I remember, she's able to make the connection that her boyfriend, fiance, has to do something with the whole thing that was happening. But before she can investigate more, the military get her and they start questioning her. But at the end, they talk, they give her the information that her fiance was actually was actually working in this course thing with the monsters and everything, and they were testing people to see who will survive 15 days. Ji-kyun is like, oh, I know somebody that is close to surviving the 15 days without becoming a monster. So they make a deal, and it's like, hey, you go back to the building, and if this person actually survives 15 days without becoming a monster, like, press this little thingy that they give her, and it will track it so they can go to where she is. And that's how they're able to, you know, that's how she's able to be let go to the building. Oh, Sukhyun, the grocery guy, he becomes a monster, and he's very disgusting. He's like an old man with very long hair, and he's walking to where the wife is. There's a bunch of them, but the wife is in the group, and he's like, please kill me. Now he doesn't want to leave anymore. His wife takes an iron pipe and starts beating him to death. It's like all of the years of damage, emotionally, physically, abuse, everything, she just let go to the point that she kills him with the iron pipe. Yeah, they're still using Hyunso to do the dangerous tasks. I think they sent him again to the basement where the spider monster is, and he actually gets trapped by the monster. But this time, Sang-wook, Jisoo, Jaehyun, and Eun-hyuk go to the basement to save him. And there's these two fights happening at the same time. We have the fight of all of them in the basement, the ones that I just mentioned, trying to save Hyunso. And there's another fight happening in the main floor with another monster, and between all the people that are there in the main floor and this monster. So the one in the basement, they're able to fight and kind of get away. On the main floor, they're able to kind of defend themselves with everything that they kind of have to defend themselves that they made, especially Dushik. So they're able to defend themselves and kind of work as a group finally to defend themselves. The point is, they're not able fully to get the monster, but Hyunso appears and he starts fighting it, and it's this whole scene because everybody's seeing him getting hurt, bleeding, fighting this monster. He kills it, and then he still stand up somehow and walk to the cell that they're holding him. And this part, everybody starts feeling bad for him because it's like, wow, we have been using him this whole time. They're planning to go outside because the water is contaminated, they need resources, so they have to go outside. And at this point, Jisoo, the base girl, keep saying the base girl, she gets sick. She gets appendicitis, I think that's how you say it, but she gets that. And of course they need things, but they don't have them, so they split into two groups. There's this group that is going to go outside, and I think it was Hyunso, Sang-wook is also in the group, Judy, which is kind of the nurse, and there's another one. I think there's like one or two more people that are in that group, and they're going to go outside and get resources. And then the other group is Eun-hyuk and a few others that are staying in to operate Jisoo. They have nothing. They're using things that they have that they disinfected to do the operation without anesthesia. How do you say it? Without any anesthesia. So she's feeling everything essentially. She faints by the pain. She's alive, okay? She survives the whole thing. And the people that go outside, they end up going outside, and 5 seconds later, they're just crushed by a monster. Not crushed, but the monster kind of hits the car that they're in. They'll wake up from the accident. They kind of try to fight back. Ji-kyun appears again, love her, with a fire truck and hits the monster. She's able to kind of burn it alive somehow, I don't remember, but the monster kind of gets on fire and she's able to like push it down, so he's out of the whole place that the building is. So now they have water and supplies from the fire truck. Oh yeah, there's a point where this is where I cry, okay? And I admit it, I cried. Throughout this whole point, we haven't really seen the security guard, right? We know he's a monster, but we haven't seen him. There's this point where Sang-wook and Hyun-soo are in the rooftop getting out some SOS sign that they gave for some reason. I don't remember. I don't have it written down. But they're doing that. The point of this whole thing and why I cry is because when Sang-wook and Hyun-soo are going down to the main floor, they see a security guard getting in the elevator going to the main floor. So they start running, especially Hyun-soo start running down because he wants to defend them. Like, again, he didn't care at the beginning about anybody, but at this point he's caring about them. So he's running down the stairs to try and save them. But he doesn't get there on time. The security guard does get to the main floor. They kind of try to defend themselves. Jae-hun, which is the Korean teacher, he has an arm hurt. I don't exactly remember why, but one of his arms is hurt. And he's always used a sword to defend himself. So he has the sword on the other hand. He tries to help. The security guard has a grass trimmer thingy. I don't know. I'll probably put a photo because there's a lot of them, I think. And he cuts away Jae-hun's arms from here, literally just cut off, non-existent anymore. And it's this whole thing because Jae-hun's character, again, is the only one that changed from positive to negative. Because in his case, he was a very hopeful, very religious, hopeful guy. And you can see throughout the whole thing, he's just getting lost and lost, not having any hope and kind of becoming alcoholic again. So that whole point, he's sacrificing himself to save everybody. So he ends up pushing the security guard through an elevator, punching a hole in the gas tank and telling Eun-hyuk throw the bottle with fire, like a bottle right on fire, to him to burn the guy, but he's gonna die. His truck appears and slams in the gate, so it's inside, and it's this whole military, they're not really military. It's like a gang, like a bad gang. It's not a good thing that happened. They kill a few people. The guy kind of makes a circle and keeps them all there. The leader of this group is called Jun-sop, but essentially he's like, hi, this is me, this is my group. We came here. And he started telling them like a story about a church, something about he went to a church and everybody was dead. There was no sign of monsters, so he thinks that the actual monsters are the actual humans. Who appears as a monster? Oh yeah, there was this other girl, which I don't have her name here, but there was this other girl that started having a nosebleed and they have her on isolation, and she is able to go outside, kill a few of these bad people, but then she lost, I think she lost it, and she was going to start attacking people, and I think she was going straight to Eun-hyuk, but Hyun-soo steps in the middle and gets the hit. The problem with that is that now the bad guy, Jun-sop, knows that he is infected. So they get him to a rooftop, they shot him a couple of times, they have this whole talk, and then we get to meet Wee-myung. Wee-myung, I think that's how you pronounce it, Wee-myung. The whole point of him is that he's also infectee. I think he's already past the 15 days and he already accepted it, and he kind of believes this is a whole evolution of humans and all that talk that we kind of see a lot through this kind of series. Wee-myung does kill everybody in that rooftop except Hyun-soo, and he's like, hey, you're the same as me, we should team together because this is an evolution and you and I were the chosen ones for this, you know, we survived this. And at that point there's this helicopter passing by and it's showing these papers that say special infectee report guy, and essentially what they're wanting to do is get people to say, oh yeah, there's an infectee here, a special infectee, and tell the military person so they can go there, get the infectee out, and they're promising the other people to get them to a safe camp. You know, that's not true and they're gonna kill everybody, but yeah, that happens. Hyun-soo is trying to convince Wee-myung that not every monster is bad, because we get to see a couple of monsters like Hyun-soo that are not really hurting people, they're kind of helping, and Hyun-soo kind of wants to give the message to him, but he really doesn't give a shit. Essentially, he's like, yeah, but no. There's this dumb moment with one of the characters with I wrote his name because I didn't want to forget it. It's Ryu Jae-hwan. Essentially, Ji-kyun and Eun-hook are talking about this whole military thing that they kind of want to do, and they know it's a trap. She ends up telling Eun-hook about the tracker. Jae-hwan knows it and he presses it. Sang-wook dies. I'm sorry to put it out there. I know I like him as well, but he dies. He tries to get out with Yuri because she's sick. Wimyeon actually shoots Yuri and Sang-wook as well, because Hyunsoo this whole time is like, yeah, I don't care. He's trying to show Wimyeon that he doesn't care about the people there, to kind of protect them because he doesn't want them to get hurt by him. So he's kind of trying to act like he doesn't care. So Wimyeon does that, right? And later on he knows that he actually cares. For some reason that I still don't understand, Wimyeon is able to get in people's bodies that are already dead and control them, and that's how he knew that Hyunsoo actually cares still about the people in the building. So shit breaks loose after that. I swear to God, everything just goes to hell at that point. A few other people die. It's a whole thing that happens because of this whole thing that Wimyeon did. It makes Hyunsoo lose control essentially, and he ends up becoming a monster. Not completely. We see a wing and kind of his face, but he's not completely a monster. And Wimyeon is like, yes, let go, you can be the monster, let's go. And I'm like, no. But Dushik, which he actually was already infected, sacrificed himself and gets in the middle and hugs Hyunsoo to kind of calm him down. Again, his wings have knives or something, so it's not really a good thing because Dushik actually ends up dying because of it. But he's able to calm Hyunsoo, so he kind of goes back. And I also cry because Hyunsoo is like crying, and I'm like, oh my god, because again, it's this whole thing, because you know they become a monster because of their human desires. So you can see that Hyunsoo's desire at the moment was to protect everyone, because they know the tracker was pressed, they have to get out. They're able to get out by a bunker that Gilso was actually looking for, and before he dies he's able to find it. So everybody goes there, and you know, they're like, okay, let's go out. Before they get there, Andrew is actually worried about Hyunsoo because he's not there. So Eun-hyuk is like, hey, you know what, it's fine, I'll go look for him, I promise I'll be back. No, because Hyunsoo and Eun-hyuk have this whole talk because Hyunsoo is like, hey, I'm just gonna go out. Hyunsoo does go out, and Eun-hyuk stays in the building. The building is like collapsing. So at that point, Eun-ju knew that her older brother is not coming back, and you can see her breaking down. Hyunsoo does get out, and that's the whole scene that we see at the beginning. I think they blow him up or something, but the point of everything is that he is alive. They're all very well, not everybody. A lot of people in the building died, but after the ones that were in the bunker go out, the military people get them, they get in a truck. Ji-kyun doesn't go with them because she wants to find her fiancé. She's like saying goodbye to the people that are in the car. She goes to kind of find whatever she can find about her fiancé. The rest go to the camp. And then to finish everything, Hyunsoo kind of wakes up in like a big military truck, and he thinks he's being captured, but no. Sang-wook, which is now being controlled by Wimyeon, because again, Sang-wook died and somehow he could control people. Wimyeon is controlling him now. They're just going God knows where. That's how it finished. Done. Bye. And you're there like, that's there, where are they going? I left a lot of things out, even things that I have written. So if you ever watch it, there's a lot of things that I didn't tell you that you're gonna be like, what? And a lot of talks. Because if I go into every little detail, we're gonna be here forever. And this is already very long. So one of the things that I really like about this is how the characters develop. Okay, you can, again, with Andrew specifically, she came from being very bitchy to caring about people. Hyunsu the same. He became from somebody that wanted to kill themselves to wanting to protect everybody on the building. And it's not with all of them, but with pretty much all of them you can see them kind of like, yeah, I only care about myself. And then at the end be like, yeah, we're all a family and we're going to survive. Also, there's only one season, but recently they announced that they're actually going to be a second and third season. So there's gonna be 2 more seasons. I don't know if after the third one is done. I was kind of scared because this came out, I saw it, and Netflix was saying absolutely nothing about renewing the contract, and I was like, please, just one more. The way that it left, there's so much more, so I was like, just one more season. And when I saw there were 2 more, I was like, yes, okay, now I feel a little bit better, because there were a lot of things that they still didn't answer, because we kind of knew a little bit more about the disease, but it's not fully explained, at least not for me. Because yes, it's human desires, but there's some that are good, there's some that are bad. They never explain exactly how human desire kind of works with everything. How the people that survive 15 days that doesn't become a monster, especially if it is, like, what makes them special. Also, GQ's fiance, I don't know if they say their name, I don't remember, but we'll keep calling him GQ's fiance. They don't explain him that much. We know that he has to do everything with the investigation and experiments and all that, but what is his role fully in it? They don't really get a lot into it. We know a bit, but exactly what and why, they don't really explain it. I do really like this series. I like it a lot. I think it's worth watching. It is a horror type, that's how they classify it. So if you don't like that kind of things, you don't like blood, you don't like violence, all of that, I don't think this is the greatest series for you to watch unless you kind of cover your eyes on those parts, but then you'll be covering your eyes the whole thing because there's a lot of blood and violence, so maybe it's not the thing for you to watch. But if you don't mind that, if you like kind of horror things, apocalyptic kind of things, team, you will enjoy it. All the actors did an amazing job with the acting. I love all the characters, the way they kind of, you know, portray them is very nice. You get into it so much that you end up crying. The effects are also pretty good, the monsters. So if you watched Sweet Home, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't, let me know why I guess you haven't, or why you don't want to watch it, or whatever. So just let me know in the comments if you watch it, what you think of it. If you haven't, why, if you're gonna watch it, or what makes you want to watch it, or whatever you want to tell me about the series. So go ahead and comment about it and I will be reading them for sure. That is all for today. I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing great. Take care of yourselves as always, and I will see y'all in the next video, which it will probably be a reaction. So yeah, bye bye.